Arsenal 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Another unstoppable performance from Arsenal. And Erling Haaland hits his 42nd goal in 41 Champions League games as City win with absolute consummate ease from them this evening. Make sure like buttons have been hit. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Make sure that is all getting done right now. But look, a very, very, very solid night for the English teams in the Champions League. Also, let me know whether you're watching live right now or if you're watching the playback of this. Let us know in the comment section right now where you are watching from around the world. I want to know whether it's England, whether it's Nigeria, America, Australia. Give me the country or give me the town and city. I always like to know where people are tuning in from far and wide. What is a PSG? Well, what a PSG today is a team that got absolutely spanked by a dominant Arsenal team. And that is where we will start the match reaction and full fan highlight show tonight. Arsenal, a team that look unstoppable at this particular moment. They have game management. They have strength on the bench. They can score goals. They were at home today against a very good Champions League team. They're not playing some minnow from Eastern Europe. They're not playing a team from a fallen league. This is Paris Saint-Germain, unbeaten all season. This is Paris Saint-Germain now who have gone away from the Galactico approach to build on top of really young, talented players. There are individuals in that side of Paris Saint-Germain, the likes of Barcola and the like, Jean Neves as an example. So many that whether you're a fan of French football, whether you're a French national thinking about the development of that side, a PSG fan or a football fan at large, so many players are being hyped up, raved about. And there's a huge level of excitement, a strong bench as well. And Arsenal dominated. Arsenal controlled them. They little broed them. They absolutely dominated from start to finish. There was a 10-minute period, maybe from the 65th minute to about the 75th minute, where they had a little flick of the boot from Jean Neves and they hit the crossbar and they were putting the pressure on. But someone who's watching it as a neutral, I just thought Arsenal, again, looked so comfortable, so at ease. It was so simplistic for them to absorb PSG. And I think Gunners would probably want a goal or two more. But again, you don't need to exhaust the energy. You don't need to keep running like you were, keep pressing like you were, keep playing as you were for the full 90 minutes when it was so comfortable. And I will say that it's been a long time since I remember watching Arsenal play against a top European side, a team that always features sometimes in the top two, but always in the top five, top six, top eight in terms of chance of winning the Champions League each season. I can't remember, Arsenal fans will know more than me, the last time they looked so in control, so dominant, so at ease in a Champions League game against such a big side. And when you look at the way Arsenal play, LB said on Straight Facts earlier on today, they almost need a statement win. They've got to go out and be the aggressor. They've got to go out and be the dominant side, and they did that. They press so brilliantly well at times with both their wingers, Martinelli and Saka, up high, but they know the trigger in their press. So even if one of their front players gets passed around, the next person fills in, they fill in, and invariably they were winning the ball back. And it was causing all types of problems for PSG. When they also got the ball, they had great control in the middle. I thought that Declan Rice had an outstanding game in terms of not just defensively and intercepting the ball. He carried it well at times. He was first to win the balls and winning those second challenges. But then when he drifted, you had the likes of Calafriori, especially inversing on the inside. And PSG couldn't handle it. They couldn't cope. And PSG, by the way, had some very talented midfield players out there as well. And it was that kind of press and that inversing into the middle which led to the first goal. This time it was Trossard who kind of dropped out into a wide position and picked the ball up and then run in towards the middle areas. I thought he was going to use the overlap, but he cuts back inside. And it was a wonderful, genuinely wonderful run from Kai Havertz, who now, by the way, has scored 6 goals in a row in home fixtures for Arsenal. The record for the Gooners is 7. Thierry Henry holds the record of 7 home games scored in on the bounce. Kai Havertz, the much maligned Kai Havertz that most Arsenal fans didn't want, the media laughed at, Chelsea fans goaded. He is a couple of goals at home away, a couple of games scoring at home away from breaking a Thierry Henry record. But his goal tonight was brilliant. It was a wonderful bit of play from Trossard, who sped the play up with a bursting run, sort of dummy like he was going to go on the outside, came inside, and it was a delightful cross. But the run and the timing from Kai Havertz, the PSG defenders thought it was offside. They were appealing for the offside. It was that good of a run. They had no idea where he was. And then it was brilliant. He twists his body. He just gets the back of his head onto the ball. Donnarumma, nowhere. 1-0 to Arsenal. It was well-deserved at that point. And then Arsenal just went up another level with the press. When they got the possession, they looked dangerous. They forced a free kick. And we know when you give a set piece to Arsenal, that spells danger. And it's so interesting. I was talking to my brother on Sunday about types of goals that we haven't seen in ages. And he said to me, I haven't seen in a long time a player cross a ball into the box, kind of aiming towards that far post, where if nobody gets a touch, it goes in. I said, yeah, I can't remember the last time like a top Premier League team scored one like that. And lo and behold, that is what happened. Bukayo Saka, it was interesting because if that was a normal cross, the first man would have cleared it easy. But they noticed something, Arsenal. PSG almost didn't have there's always a first man because you're always going to find a... But their first man was kind of behind the nearest Arsenal player when it comes to attacking that defensive line. And Saka put a ball in to that area. Now, 2 Arsenal players missed it, but it was such a clever ball because if it's missed by everybody, it can just go in, and it caused confusion in PSG's box. Another clever... And I think the reason I didn't have a first man is because PSG probably tried something new to try and defend those wonderful set pieces, and it led to the goal. Saka scoring, I think it's his 5th Champions League goal at home in 6 home Champions League games as well. And the game was over from then. A really good start to the second half. Could have been 3-0. Martinelli with a shot at the end of a really good move from Arsenal. And then what they did, it was just so mature from Arsenal as they sat in, they absorbed. They didn't waste any energy. They didn't risk anybody pulling hamstrings or getting injured. They just played within themselves. They contained PSG, who did come out and did attack and did try to beat them, but they didn't have enough. And even when they did, on occasion, break a line and get in behind, the positioning of Gabriel and Saliba was just brilliant again. And if Saliba got beat, Gabriel was there. If Gabriel gets beat, Saliba is there. And as a 2, I do think we're looking at the current best centre-back pairing in European football. Them along with Declan Rice and Partey, Moreno making his debut as well. Arsenal right now, with their form, just look unstoppable. They really do. And the interesting element here is they got all those injuries. Obviously, Martinelli is still out. They had all those injuries 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I remember, and this is a question really, to all the Arsenal fans and to all the naysayers that said, season's over. Season's over. We're going to be at the title race by October. Champions League's going to be a disaster. The squad isn't good enough. You have got through those games without losing. You've kept a number of clean sheets. You're scoring goals. You're unbeaten, unless I've forgotten about a defeat. I don't think I have in that time. And I still don't think you are at your optimum best. You've still got Odegaard to come back into this side whenever that is going to be. And I actually thought Marino was going to be out longer with some of the initial reports, but he is now back. So it's an extra body in the midfield. The likes of Skelly and Neri, when they come on, they look every bit ready to be part of this Arsenal team. And look, I've been saying it for a couple of years. This Arsenal team is scary. This Arsenal team is potent. This Arsenal team is dangerous. they have to get over the line and start winning some major trophies. I think every gooner in the world knows this. But I don't think when you look at Arsenal's run at the beginning of the season, you look at who they drew in the Champions League and the order of the games, I don't think, hand on heart, there are very many Arsenal fans on planet Earth that, if they're being honest, cannot say, I am proud of my team for what they have achieved. If there's any gooner that is not proud of the start to their season, it needs deep explaining. You need to give reasons that are so rational, so easy to digest. A 3-year-old gets it. It's been a very hard start, major injuries, and a tough Champions League start as well. And ironically, the people that said the season was over, you had a few pro Arteta fans who sort of showed their asses a little bit. A lot of these individuals didn't think your squad was even that good anyway, or your manager isn't that good anyway. And you've come through it with flying colours, a brilliant base and foundation built for the remainder of the season. It's likely Arsenal win this weekend as well. They'll go into the international break cool, calm, collected and relaxed. But overall, another top performance indeed. Red Vision here says, tell it as it is. PSG were crap. I will tell you as it is. PSG were crap because Arsenal made them crap tonight. PSG were rubbish for large parts of that game because Arsenal stopped them. They stopped them with their technical ability, their shape, and then physically they manhandled them. They didn't lay a glove on Arsenal until Arsenal said, there you go, have some of the ball. We're going to sit in. We're going to sit in and defend. And again, Arsenal showing how impenetrable they really are. Now, some will say they hit the post. You know, what have I said on the football terrace since we existed? Hitting the post is the shot off target. It is what it is. João Felix was a nice little flick. It was, you could argue it was unlucky. They had a pop shot that tipped the outside of the post and Raya had it covered. But they didn't lay a glove on Arsenal for the whole game. That is on Arsenal. Now, some people might want to take that away from Arsenal and say it's just PSG being crap. But I think that is exceedingly disingenuous indeed. It's what we do. Come on, you gooners, is what Jason says here. Mr. Gaspar says, first half, we killed the game. They couldn't beat our press. Saka and Havertz were brilliant. Second half, we controlled the game without the ball. Saliba is class. Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I think absolutely spot on with your breakdown. I really do. Hit the like button. Come on, you gooners. Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out as well this evening to our title sponsors of the show, NordVPN. Now, if you don't have a VPN provider, first of all, you're mad. You're genuinely mad. You shouldn't be on the internet without protection. You know, you wouldn't go on a date without protection. You shouldn't go on the internet without protection. And I want to say this now, why it's important, especially you young lads who are living with your parents. Convince your mum, convince your dad. You need some. Biggest reason is everything you do on the internet, even if you click on incognito, the bill payer can see. I just want to point that out there. And where it's really important to have is when you're out in public places, using public Wi-Fi, maybe at the bank, maybe at the airport, maybe in a shopping mall. You have the chance of your phone, your accounts all being hacked. So protect yourself now. We'll give you some discounts on a 2-year plan if you scan the QR code. But the fun element is this. I watched all the Champions League games tonight on Setanta Sport. Cost me $3.99 a month because it's based out in, I think, in Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, those Eastern European countries. Via your app store, as long as you've got NordVPN and you switch your location to one of those places, you go into the app store, you download the app, you pay $3.99 a month. It's completely legal. All Champions League, all Premier League games, all the 3 p.m. matches. You can do it, stream it for your computer, send it to your smart TV or watch it on your phone, and it's legal. No more breaking the law. No more sticking dodgy little fire sticks into the back of your TV. No more messaging your mates. Oh, have you got a link? Have you got a link? This is all above board, and it is as cheap as chips. So protect yourself online. Also sign up to NordVPN. They are one of our sponsors. Get it done. Plus, there's a little there's 2 links in the description. The second link is a little bit of a very short quiz to just test your knowledge around security on the internet as well. Just to let you know, if you have had your information harvested, if you get any kind of email from a company saying, here's your invoice that you didn't use, if you ever get any weird text messages asking you to click on links, that means your data has been hacked and sold somewhere because you're not using a VPN provider. And I know most of you have had that. So please go and check that out. Really, really important when you are on the internet. I have been your long-term viewer, and I don't say things lightly. We are a Nico Jr., Isak, Gyökeres, Havertz away, 2 of these, 4 away from being a top team. You think you're 2 of these away or 4 of those players away from being a top team? You need to explain that to me, bro. What Kai Havertz said today, us Chelsea fans never forgive him. I don't know what he said. I don't watch. I didn't see it. You got to tell me, mate. You got to tell me. I know everyone thinks I'm an Arsenal fan, but I don't follow the Arsenal news that closely unless it trends. I need to see it. Let me take this moment to appreciate the studio setup, the lighting and the shirt and the cap. It's just looking good. Thank you. Shirt was made for me, actually. I know this is not a Man United stream, but that's who I support. It's made for me, actually. I really quite like it. And we're gonna get some made for all the teams. I like the little Football Terrace logo to put on the bottom as well. I have told them, don't put it on shiny t-shirts. Don't do that again. You should see the new studio in London. If you remember, you can see it on our community page now. So excited. So excited. So excited. I was about to do the Kevin Hart So Excited, but I might get in trouble for that. I don't know the way the rules work anymore. So excited. Hey, Autism Terry, how about City are unstoppable? You're saying I'm autistic. It's very offensive to people that are autistic. Yeah. Cheers, bruv. Okay. Refreshing to see a ref not try to be the main character. There we go. Terry, it's over. Most of us had dodgy emails and texts. Well, there you go. Start protecting yourself. PSG, not dangerous until the second half. Ruiz was very good. Come on, you gooners. I agree. In Man City's game tonight as well, I just want to say before I bring the panel out, I'll let them unpack the game. I just want to give a shout out to the greatest striker, the greatest goal scorer that I think English football has ever had the privilege of witnessing, and that is Erling Haaland. I don't care if you hate City, you got to appreciate this man. 42 Champions League goals in 41 games. He now matches Del Piero's record. Now, there is a little bit of context in this. In Del Piero's era, there was less teams, there was less games, and you didn't play teams like City play tonight, right? So I think they've got to do something about the goal scoring records. However, it's his first 41 games, he scored 42 goals, and he does score against the big boys as well. And I'm only saying what I'm saying to protect legends of the past. But Erling Haaland, I mean it. And if people want to attack me on this, attack me on it. The greatest goal scorer that has ever played football for an English team. At the very least in my lifetime. And if you want to throw out numbers of somebody else, show me. I'm just going to say, show me what they did in their first 41 Champions League games. And he hasn't just scored 42 goals. He's won it as well. He's won it in a treble winning year. So, yeah, absolutely top class indeed from him tonight. Let's bring the panel out now. We've got Giuseppe, we've got Sard, we've got V, we've got Hamza, we've got Trimless Guna all on the show. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Hope you're all well and good. Giuseppe, I'm going to come to you first. A big game tonight, but a big win for Arsenal.
Yeah, man. Huge 3 points. Probably the second hardest game we've got in the Champions League, just bar Inter. And do you know what was so refreshing about it? Just the way we've gone to PSG ain't got the pedigree in the Champions League of other teams, but a big team in the Champions League, and we've just little brothered them. We just looked at a level above them. I'll be honest, like even in the second half, they grew into the game a bit, but we were never really under threat. We go again to the next game. And do you know what? You win the game early, 2-0. I know people would have wanted us to batter them 4-0, but we've got a long season ahead. Play in second gear. We can play in second gear because our team's that structurally brilliant and our defense is that structurally brilliant that we can be calm and we can just see out a game and we don't have to waste energy. PSG, people are now being disingenuous as they always are, and Arsenal can never get any credit. Apparently, it's always the other team were crap. It's never what Arsenal done well. It's not that Arsenal didn't give them a sniff in the first half, killed off the game 2-0, and then just dominated at the back and just stayed so structurally compact that they couldn't really do anything. Then they were trying, and they've got some tricky players. That left winger, he's brilliant for them. I can't think of his name right now. I've said that Arsenal should snap him up in the summer. So yeah, listen, Calafriori was brilliant today. Got moved to the right-hand side, was brilliant. This guy, I've told people, he's 22 years old. He looks like he's at home already at Arsenal. Moreno, come on, showed his quality. Okay, he looked a little bit rusty, but showed his quality in the tackles and that. Another good player for us. Saka, doing Saka things. Havertz, I think we can all come together now, haters or not, and say Havertz has been a successful signing for Arsenal. It doesn't matter if people want to think it was a bit overpriced or anything like that. He's been a successful signing. His stats speak for themselves, his goal contributions. And I don't even want to only be on the goal contribution today, because I think he was our man of the match, because I think the way his centre forward play today, holding up the ball, when we were putting it over to him, when there was pressure and stuff, and the way he was holding up the ball and playing our wingers in and stuff like that, I thought he was brilliant today. And I thought as a whole, the team was brilliant. I think Arteta got it spot on. I think the fact that we can bring on players like, I know it weren't along, but bring on players like Lewis Skelly, and we're starting to now see that Arteta's having a bit of faith in a few of these youngsters. A lot of people hate on it, say, Arteta don't want to give youngsters a chance. Maybe these youngsters ain't ready yet. Now they're starting to look ready. Arteta's giving them their chances and relying on them to come on and see out games and stuff like that. So for me, yeah, I'm happy, man. You couldn't ask for anything better than a 2-0 win at home and not having to come out of second gear. To be honest, I don't even think we were out of second gear in the first half. I think we were just bopping them around. So, yeah, I think this is a good stead to go further on in the Champions League, because I want that top 8. Like, I don't want to play an extra 2 games in February. Like, I want top 8. And the first game, people would say, you dropped the ball. But away at Atlanta, you know what I mean? They're a tough team. These Italian teams, they're tough. So, yeah, if we can go forward and keep winning, Inter's the next big test for us in the Champions League. Apart from Inter, I think we should win every other game, personally. But, yeah, I'm happy. I can't complain. If I've missed anything, the other Arsenal boys will...
I'm sure you are. Sard, I mean, actually get to speak to you last time you were on. It was so bit crazy. A big night tonight. You know, there was a lot of rivals on our shows in the last few days talking about Arsenal have got to come out and win. They've got to be the dominant side. They've got to prove they can cut it with the big boys. Did you prove that tonight against PSG, in your opinion?
100%. 100% we did. I'm sorry, but the thing is, there's experienced players in there. We're not dealing with, and even the defense. I know they had some guy called Patro, I think that was his name, the other centre back. But Marquinhos is a seasoned professional in this game, bro. He's been playing the Champions League year in, year out. And listen, they made the defense look. I mean, for somebody like Marquinhos, who was actually on Havertz, for him to make that run and him not even know what's going on, that just shows. And listen, the intuition from Havertz there to make that run, that's just strikers do that, and they do that naturally. You'll always see like strikers like Haaland, like Lewandowski, some of the best strikers that we've seen. You'll see them making those runs, and they do it in a way where they're definitely getting to the ball. And today, by the way, Havertz was absolutely amazing. Saka was amazing. Saka in these last 2 games is finally doing what everybody's asking him to do. Take your man on. It's not difficult. Just take your man on. Take risks. And that's what he was doing today. Just, you don't need to be so conserved. You don't need to be so defensive. Sometimes just take the risk. We want to see you take the risk, because you have the skill within yourself to do it. You have the skill to get past the man. Trossard for me was my man of the match, to be honest, because Trossard was just all over the place. That weight of pass. Listen, I know Trossard is not really. He's not the most amazing player. He's not one of the best players in the world. But bro, that pass right there was world class. That pass was world class. To be able that's like a Kevin De Bruyne-esque pass. Just look at the player that we're comparing him to in regards to what type of pass that he done, bro. Kevin De Bruyne is probably the only one that can really try and do that pass. You probably see it from somebody like what's his name? Modric. These kind of players, they're the only ones that do those kind of passes. So for him to actually put out the bag, if he doesn't do it all the time, I'm not upset. But if he gives us that moment in the Champions League where he does stuff like that, I'm happy because this is a moment's game, bro. This is a moment's game, and that's all we need is to do moments. And listen, overall from the whole team, man, defensively, I think it was very good. Second half, we were just impeccable, man. Honestly, just letting them have the ball, and it was just so safe and secure. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you're defenders, I'm not even worried that they're gonna score because the defenders are just so comfortable and they know exactly what happened. Because when I saw Kivior come on, I was like, we might be in trouble here, bro. Because I've seen him get spun by a few quick, like Bakayoko last year, bro. I got PTSD real quick. I thought this might be, Hakimi might do this guy for pace, bro. But he handled it, bro. So listen, I'm happy. I'm a happy man, and I definitely think that, bro, we showed them levels today, and they're a seasoned team, bro. So yeah, I'm happy.
I wanted to ask you this.
Yes.
There was a lot of talk about Calafriori in the summer. You know, is he a bit of an Italian hype job? Is he really it? And he obviously had a few little, not problems at the beginning when he came into Arsenal, but he was on the bench and he was being kind of slowly bled in. But I've seen this guy play 3 positions for you, predominantly left back. He went to right back tonight. I've seen him fill in at centre back. It's like he's been there 5 years.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%, man. I think he has. It is like he's been there 5 years. And the thing is, yeah, you have to look at Calafriori. And the thing is, he's been caught out a few times, yeah, defensively. But I expect that from a player coming straight in. I expect him to get caught out a few times because he's getting used to playing with new players. Do you know what I mean? I expect that to happen. But listen, for me, he's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Mr. Niger Englishman, how are you, mate? It's I still prefer to call you that rather than your real name. To be honest with you, I think it's better, can leave. But what do you make of your boys tonight?
Oh yeah, now my people. It's your dark-skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, tonight you go understand. And to my fellow Nigerians, happy Nigerian Independence Day. Big up everyone. And all the extended Nigerians as well. You know, the people we invite to, not to the cookout for jollof rice, because we don't do cookouts in Nigeria. Anyway, but today, look, my star boy, as the haters keep talking about all these other guys and this, that, my star boy keeps quote unquote stat padding, as they say. Let him continue stat padding in the Champions League against PSG.
Look at Hamza's jacket. Look at Hamza's jacket.
hang on, Hamza. Why have you got a PSG jacket on when you support City?
Because
what
he was
are
going to
you
come
doing?
on proud. You better cover.
I don't have a PSG jacket.
You better cover that up.
Look at you covering yourself up like a woman who's been caught coming out the shower with a towel on like this. Open your jacket, Hamza.
I don't have my jacket. No, is that guy, man?
Show us the badge. Show us the badge under your hand.
That guy.
that guy. Yeah, that guy.
Your hate watch, man. I was there on the hate watch.
See? You failed, bro. And the person that helped you failed.
I'm there.
Hey, my friend, is us now segment. Relax. It's not your time. It's not your time. Relax.
My life number one.
Anyway, number 2. Hold on, Hamza. Relax.
I'm not witnessing that. I play football. So I'm here. I'm here to support City and make sure that we stop them winning Champions League. It's a special clubs that can only be there. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Great. Anyway, so Kai Havertz continues to upset people. Our rubbish number 9. I mean, 5 goals, couple of assists. Like, it will just keep being rubbish in the league and the Champions League. He played immense today. Like, his link-up play was immense. He was scrapping. Like, they couldn't handle him, man. He was all over the place. Also, what Saad said, Trossard, really good game today. And you see our defenders there. Our defenders, they're mad because it's like sometimes we give the opposition the ball just to try something out. Ooh, let's see what you lot got this time. It was some, like, the way we defend is crazy. Like, I'm never really nervous. I wouldn't say in general, but in this game in particular, no matter what PSG had to offer, I was never really nervous because of how we were defending today. Saliba, Calafriori, he's on it. He's slotted right in. Kivior did his thing. Rice. I mean, everyone played really well today. Obviously, Marino looks like he still needs a couple of minutes. I'll give him that. But there's time for that and stuff. But Martinelli, I was very harsh on him, and I not necessarily agree with how Arteta kept playing him into form. But I mean, it seemed to have worked because after getting the goal and the assist on the weekend, he's pushed on. He looks confident. He looks sharp again, and hopefully he can hit that form that we were seeing a couple of seasons ago. But 2-0, clean sheets, we move. Let's go.
I just want to say as well, someone has sent me a screenshot. Thank you very much to Daniel Kelly, one of our legend fans in our member chat. So this is what Kai Havertz said for anyone who missed it. Oh, no wonder Chelsea fans are screwing. He said, winning the Champions League is a nice feeling, but it would be even nicer if I can do it with Arsenal. It would mean a lot more.
I don't know why Chelsea fans are getting upset all the time with Havertz. Like they didn't shit all over him when he was at the club, and when we signed him, they didn't shit all over him.
People, they're just
what's going on?
Sensitive.
Look, the thing with it is this as well, but I kind of get it. I kind of get it. Like if Jadon Sancho wins any trophies with Chelsea, the same ones he won at United, he only won a cup. It's going to mean more to him with the way he left and the way Man United fans were with him. I get it. It's not going to make me. I would expect it. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm going to cut to Brandon in a minute, but Trimless, what did you make of your boys tonight?
Yeah, no, I gotta be real. When I went on Bet365 to do my little bet builder for the match, I saw the PSG lineup and I was a bit disappointed. I didn't really see any players there where I was like, oh, that player is gonna predominantly be a threat throughout the game, a player that I need to keep my eye on or worry about. And especially as we've been raving about throughout the podcast, our defense is just solid right now. So yeah, it was a good win over PSG, but I don't think it bangs as we all knew it would if they had the Messis, the Neymars, blah blah blah. But yeah, end of the day, we did what we needed to do. Gabriel and Saliba have been absolutely quality, and it's just so refreshing to see because I've been through pain, man. Been through pain, Mustafi and all that, man. So,
well, you sound like you're still going through it. We won 2-0 today, big man.
No, I know, of course, but I just want to be realistic. Like this team has turned my heart black.
Neymar and Messi and stuff.
No, I'm just saying this team has turned my heart black. I'll be real, so I don't get too excited anymore. I've done 2 seasons of it. Now I'm just a bit more reserved in the approach of it. But as I said, I'm happy that Arteta now is saying to himself, I can control games without the ball. I'm liking that approach. We changed to a 4-4-2. We see him Trossard step up in Ødegaard's while Ødegaard is joining treatment, and it's good to see, as he's banged on the weekend, he's popped up today. Because let's be real, I know Saka got the goal today, but was there going to be anyone else to provide that goal? Yes, Havertz will get on the end of things, and I thought Havertz was phenomenal, but no. So I'm happy that Trossard is stepping up. I did want to see Waneri though a bit earlier, maybe some subs earlier from Arteta, but. Let me not get too negative. I don't want people to.
You're that guy, aren't you? You're that guy.
Yeah, man. 2-0 win. Very happy. Very happy.
I can kind of get that. I get it. But Frank Lampard said this at halftime, and I don't want to steal his words. And I know he hasn't turned out to be a very good manager, Frank Lampard, but it doesn't mean he doesn't understand football. And he said one thing that makes Arsenal a really good team is that they can win and play in multiple ways. And I think tonight showed that in abundance. In the first half, you pressed and you were dangerous and you attacked well. And then in the second half, you went, boom, have the ball. And listen, I don't remember the last time I saw an Arsenal team that could give the ball to their opponents and not look threatened against teams like PSG. It's been a very long time. Brandon, a few weeks ago, you were a bit nervous after those injuries and the run you had. You're kind of at the end of that really tough run. How impressed tonight and in totality have you been with your club in this last few weeks?
Yeah, extremely impressed, Tal. As you say, I had question marks over whether we had enough quality in the squad, whether we have enough numbers in the squad to handle the injuries, and we've handled it pretty impeccably, I would say. 7 points out of 9 when you have had away fixtures against Villa, City and Spurs. Very unfortunate not to come away with 9 points out of 9 out of that. And then, of course, tonight was the big test for me, right? Because a lot of the time, it doesn't really tend to matter how well Arsenal performing in the Premier League. We seem to die when it comes to playing in Europe. Now, I know we was at home tonight, and I know that's not the star-studded PSG side of a few years ago with your Neymars, your Messis, and you know all the rest of them. However, we made them look like scrubs tonight. I ain't gonna lie, we bossed that game from start to finish, and I think, to be honest with you, tonight was all about Trossard. Yeah, I don't want to ever hear an Arsenal fan chat shit about Trossard ever again, right? Because all we was hearing was, oh, he's the 12th man, he's better coming off the bench, and all along I've been saying, just give this guy a run of games. Give him a run of games, you know. You can't just expect him to keep coming off the bench and doing the business, and then you give him one start and then you drop him for the next game. Give him a run of games, and we'll see what this guy is all about. It's quite easy to see that, in my opinion, he's definitely our most technically gifted player, in terms of left foot, right foot. He can pick a pass as well. He showed that tonight. And yeah, I think he is a massive reason as to why we haven't missed Odegaard, because, he's filled in that position and he's done it exceptionally well. Havertz, again, another player that I was massively critical of when Arsenal was signing him, but he's doing the business and tonight I thought he was really, really good. His hold-up play was exceptional. When we're defending for the majority of that second half, and you need somebody who's going to hold the ball up, who's going to win free kicks in and around, the centre of the pitch to get the team back up the field again. He did that brilliantly, and he took his goal really well as well. The only disappointment, really, and this ain't even really a disappointment, but it could have been more, and it probably should have been more if we're being real. We had a few more opportunities that maybe we could have done better with. But apart from that, it's nice to see Arsenal play a team in Europe and make it look as comfortable as what we did. I thought it was brilliant tonight. I ain't going to lie.
I hear and concur. I totally get where you're coming from with that. We are gonna speak some more Arsenal, but I know V's got to go soon. So I wanted to run to V. Really impressive night tonight for Manchester City. 4-0 was actually a flattering scoreline, I felt, for your opponents. It could have been 10-11, 12-0 tonight. You were that good.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Hopefully my internet's holding up. It was a little laggy for me, but no, it was impressive, and more so, I think, because of the players, like the young players. I have to give a lot of credit to the EDS and the Football Academy, because on display, Manchester City fans should take a lot of pride in seeing Foden Academy, Rico Lewis Academy, James McAtee Academy. It was so good to see them play and to see how they delivered. I mean, all of them had impacts within the game. So when we hear things about, holding on to players, we have a wealth of it. So sometimes we have to let some players go, Cole Palmer being the latest one. But I was really proud of how the players played today. We needed this result after Inter, because who knows what's going to be the right number in terms of standings to be in the top half. But hey, you said it early, Haaland. If rivals are still questioning this player, then I just let them talk. Talk to the wall. Because Haaland is that guy, 42 games, 41 games, 42 goals. Incredible. And Rico Lewis, he released that pass on him and freed up Haaland for that goal. So I was impressed. I'm not too sure where Professor's going to go with regards to review of this, but I was really happy with today.
Yeah, look, it was very comfortable, and there was a nice little counter from them in the opening minutes, but it looked like absolute one way. The only disappointing thing I'd say, and maybe if I was a City fan, is he could have scored more goals. But
yeah, we had 3 posts that game.
You did, but I think it almost, and this is no disrespect to your opponents, sometimes it can be so easy, your levels drop a little bit, because it was almost like you were playing kids. You were that much better than them. You really were. And yeah, the Haaland stuff, as I say, I do think he's the greatest goal scorer that's ever played football in England. I don't think there's a single striker from a goal scoring perspective that can talk to this guy.
Yeah, I'm not fighting you on that one either, Terry. I mean, others can do it. I'm not fighting you on that one.
Just
Haaland
think about the strikers that have played in the Champions League. Rooney, Henry, Shearer, Aguero, all of them. 42 goals in 41 games is an absolute. And by the way, he was scoring at that rate when he was at Salzburg and Dortmund. Yeah. It's not like he came to City and started doing it. He was doing it you've seen how poor Salzburg have been in this competition since he left. This guy was doing it at that level as well. He's an absolute.
He was made for the Prem, Tel. He was made for the Prem. That's what Haaland is. He's made for the Prem. Physicality, speed. He's got a finish. And a lot of people sit there and disrespect him on the he scores tap-ins. But to get into that position to score a tap-in is very difficult because you have to look at how a defender's moving, where defenders be. You got to be in the right place and attack that space. And even like, bro, it's difficult, but people act like it's just easy. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna tap the ball in.
And Terry, let me say this before I go. I'm surrounded by Arsenal fans, not including you, but I want to say this. I want to say this real quick. Listen, Arsenal, the patience that you as a fan base have shown, like Terry said early in this show, it's paying off. It is paying off. The eighths, the fifths, all those to the point of challenging for the league and how good you're looking in Champions League. This is the example to all those rivals that have the impatience with what's happening at their club. They should all look at you guys as, listen, look what patience gets you. Look what trust in a manager that's a novice, that doesn't quite have the CV, can pay off and do. So, hey, the performance in the Champions League, I didn't watch it. I'm going to watch it later on tonight. I recorded it. But the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing with Arteta and the ownership, hey, it's credit to you guys. Well deserved.
Hey, mate, that was sick though. Thanks for the pep talk, trying to little bro us and all that.
This is sounding hella.
You nearly got away with it, bro.
Bro.
You nearly got away with it. I nearly missed it. I nearly missed it.
This ain't City pool, brother. This ain't City pool. This ain't City pool, bro.
We were discussing your game.
This is Arsenal versus Man City.
Kind of be like, you lot should give yourself a pat on the back.
There's a rivalry. There is no good blood between us.
Big up there, mate.
Bro, it's war when you come back, bro. It's war, bro.
This guy's hilarious.
Don't take it as a disrespect. What they're actually trying to say is Ten Hag in. Trust the process, Tel.
Hey.
Oh, you know what? I've just realized, Veta, you're playing chess, bro.
Veta can do one, bro. Veta can do one after that.
Take care, guys.
Take care, bro. Take care. Well, no, I'm trusting the process. We're just not with him at the wheel. I'm telling you. Do you know what I mean? I'm trusting the builders. I'm just not trusting the bus driver. It's one of them ones. Thank you for that, Brandon. Thank you for that. Egal. Talk to me about your team's performance tonight. Who stood out for you?
That smile, man.
Yo, before we get into the performance, can I just say, Brandon, calm down. Not every time we need to be worrying about things. I told you, talk to me after Leicester, 4 goals. Talk to me after PSG, another 2 goals. I don't seem too worried about the creativity anymore because Leandro Trossard seems to be doing a good job covering in for Martin Odegaard. Mikel Arteta seems to find solutions. It only took him, 1 game of our creativity looking a little bit off before he figured it out. Trust his team. Set pieces. I told you guys, Man City have Erling Haaland. We have a set piece coach that can get us 20 goals a season. We're already on how many? 4? What is it? 4 goals from set pieces so far? That's crazy. Like, we got to acknowledge how crazy that is. On top of that, Bukayo Saka scoring from where he scored today, the set piece dark arts that we're doing is mental. We also have to give Kai Havertz some credit. 6 goals in his last 6 home games. That's a run comparable to the Aubameyangs, to the Van Persie's. Those are the kind of guys who've done this.
So just on that record, he's equaled the second best, which I think Aubameyang and somebody else has. I want to say it was Bonglahor's name on there, not Bonglahor, Adebayor, but it might be someone else. But he's 1 goal behind, equaling. If he scores in your next home game, he equals Henry's record. If he scores in the next 2, he breaks Henry's record. And that for a player, Egal, that was so ridiculed when he signed is phenomenal, right?
100%. And the way that he's scoring the goal too, the bravery, the fact that he putting his body on the line, getting what is that? A goal versus Leicester, a goal versus Bolton, a goal versus PSG, Brighton, Wolves, Everton last season. The run is going to keep going, hopefully. We got Southampton this weekend. Hopefully he can keep it going. I do believe in him. And also, there's another person I want to speak about. He went off after 45 minutes, but Timber's performance today, he took Ligue 1's best player and told him, I'm going to lock you down. I'm going to take the key and I'm going to throw it away. and you're not going to do nothing for the rest of the game. Even when I leave, you're still going to be locked down because you're going to remember the trouble I put you through. Timber is a proper defender. I rate that guy so highly.
It's true, you know, because even after Timber went, I still didn't.
He did not lose a single duel. He did not do nothing wrong. Anytime the player came next to him, he just took the ball off him. And we made PSG look like an average team today. PSG have not played a single team on our level all season. They've been undefeated. They've been beating teams 6-0, 4-2. The closest team to our defense, they ended up drawing against. And their attack today, without Ousmane Dembele, I bet you any money, Luis Enrique is probably regretting not bringing Dembele after he's seen that performance today from his team, because they did not look like they had anything going from the other side of the pitch. And this was... Today, we showed we are no longer that young team that people look at. We played a young team today. We bossed them. We showed them how to play football. And people who watch Arsenal and rivals who talk to us about, oh, you could have a banana skin versus PSG. People messaging me before the day starts. Egal, you're going to be available at 11 in case you lose. I'm like, yeah, I will be, but we're not going to lose. Anyways.
Where they at, Egal? Where they at?
I wanted to. You mentioned Timber earlier on. We were speaking about Calafriori and how good he looks. I mean, you're just so stacked, Egal. When you think about, you've still got Ben White that's out. You've got Tomiyasu that's coming back as an example. You know, considering who was in your defense, however many months ago, a couple of years ago, to have Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Calafriori, Ben White, Tomiyasu. When Kiwior is probably your worst defender and he's okay, that's ridiculous levels of depth.
Terry, I said title-winning defense years ago. This is way better than what I thought.
Well, about to say, when you said that, 2/3 of this team weren't here, then, mate. So you can't take credit. But okay,
no, I'm not taking credit. I'm just simply saying I seen where Mikel Arteta was trying to go by building with the defense. Build with the defense. Stop worrying about we need attackers, we need strikers. We're going to win this league based on our defense. William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, our defense is going to be what wins us this league title. That's my genuine thoughts. We were never going to be a team. We're never going to be a team that's going to blitz Man City, blitz Aston Villa, blitz Tottenham. No, against certain teams of quality, you're going to see these kind of performances where we score 2 goals and then we just completely shut them out for the rest of the game. There's going to be games where we need to score more. We're capable of that. But really and truly, our strength is our defense. Don't be afraid if we lean on it more often and you see more defensive performances than you see offensive juggernaut performances, because that's what I expect going forward. Guess what? We're going to face Southampton this week. Maybe we beat them by 6-0. Who knows? But when we play,
you could.
Who knows?
You really could.
Who knows? But when it comes to other teams, for example, when we face Liverpool, Chelsea, if we see defensive performances in those games where we don't create as many as we do against the smaller teams, don't be surprised, because that might be by design.
The defensive performance against City gave us confidence that we can do it against anybody. The perfect training session, if you think about it.
Real talk.
This says, is the ref an Arsenal fan, or is this what it is like to have a non-biased referee? New feelings. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few people say that you should have conceded a penalty for the Calafriori handball.
Really?
That's always saying.
That's reaching.
The Premier League refs have to watch this game.
Yeah, natural.
Honest to God, not just because of like the not giving anything stupid away, just the way he controlled the game. The referee, it's just levels above the Premier League refs. Honest to God.
All I have to say is Dermot Gallagher is an absolute disgrace and shouldn't be on TV. That guy is useless. Did you guys see what he said the other about Ndidi?
Yeah, we saw that. Do you know what's also funny as well? Do you know that they've picked? I don't believe there's a conspiracy against Arsenal. Everybody knows that. But I do believe they're incompetent, and the conspiracy is that they try and protect themselves. Have you noticed how the one that all the referees have said was wrong and that they rescinded it and changed it straight away was the Bruno one, knowing full well that the attention around Man United and the manager at the moment is going to overshadow that news? And it's like, well, we'll admit to a little one here. No one's even really focusing on it. No one really cares about it. We'll just admit that one and we'll ignore all the rest. And I'm sitting there thinking it's going to go under the radar because Man United fans, and I understand why, are more focused on what's happening to our club. Rivals never back each other on these. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, how did Bruno end up being red when you've got VAR to stop it? You should never have to have a red card rescinded again. That's what VAR is there for in real time. But, it's crazy. What he said about Ndidi not kicking the ball. Saka was laying on the floor, so therefore he couldn't have taken it quickly. It's like, well, you don't know what Saka was going to do. It's just, it's crazy. Can't believe.
What about the Athletic article about Trossard shouldn't have played against Leicester?
Yeah, because, as well.
This is a joke.
It's one of them things, right? And it's one of the reasons why I started doing the content on this stuff is because I always saw it as a Man United fan. I always saw these things, but I'd never noticed it against anybody else. And it was only when you guys started to do well that I started to see it against Arsenal. Maybe because since I was focusing on other teams so much, since I started doing the YouTube thing, I started noticing, and I was sitting there like, this ain't well. I have never seen, I've seen this that only happened to your club and my club, where your club follows the rules, but then people start writing those rules shouldn't exist. So what do you mean those rules shouldn't exist?
It happened during COVID. It happened during COVID. Everybody had games where they missed because they didn't have enough players to field the team. Arsenal did it for the North London Derby, and the whole league made a big deal about it.
I can tell you. I'll tell you right now. The only reason why they don't do this to City is because everybody is pinning their hopes on these 115 charges. That's the only reason why people don't hate City the way that we're getting the hate. Otherwise, City would have gotten the hate. If there was no 115 charges, do you know what I'm getting that?
I think with Arsenal,
it's something different.
With Arsenal and Man United, it's the history. With Arsenal and Man United, it's because back in the day,
fair enough.
That's how I see it.
There's one more thing. Fans like Hamza are 1 in a million in the City fan base, right? There's a
fans that change from Arsenal to Man
City. There's a bunch of Hamzas in all of our other fan bases, right? So when it comes to Man City's fan base, since they're not as loud and they're not as obnoxious and they're not in your face as much, other fan bases don't seem to be annoyed by them winning. So they continue to pick up these trophies and don't get the same level of criticism from other fan bases and rival media as they would if it was Manchester United or Arsenal doing what they did.
No, it's because, listen, you know, funny thing is, Terry, you know what you said. You know the fact that everyone in this country knows referee were very biased towards United. Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson was. Alex Ferguson used to be feared in the Premier League. Feared. Referee. He intimidated. He refused to give BBC interview match of the day. He would hold them hostage.
Hang on. That was nothing. Hang on. Stop. I need to meet you again. When you start lying about my club, I have to stop you. So he only refused to interview with media outlets that wrote lies about him. It had nothing to do with the referees. So if a referee made a mistake, he wouldn't refuse to do a BBC interview. It was based on things that the BBC said to him. Where I do agree with you, Hamza, is that he definitely held some weight and he helped to intimidate.
No, but even
please let me finish talking, Hamza.
Go on.
But there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason.
Were you favored?
Hang on a minute. Just hang on a minute and let me. I'll answer you yes or no. The answer is no. Not on every occasion. There are definitely times where things went our way, but it also happened in that same era that I grew up in. Arsenal would get this. Go back. Stop shaking it. Hamza. Honestly, bruv, listen to understand as opposed to respond. I am not saying that Man United didn't get decisions going their way, but I'm about to hit you with some facts. First one is go back and watch Arsenal's invincible season and look at some of the penalties they got late in games to draw or win matches that may have stopped their invincible run or stopped them from winning the league. If Fergie was influencing the referees so badly that they were all too scared, they would never have done that for Arsenal, first and foremost, right? But it just is what it is. I think all top teams with powerful managers like yours now get influences in decisions because, of course, I think, whether they want to admit it or not, a referee is more intimidated by Pep Guardiola than he is Gary O'Neill. The same as, I just don't think that's something that's even debatable. Of course, there's that there. Hang on, I'm not finished. What I would also say is this. When Fergie retired, they put the stats up. And you can go and research this. It will still be on TalkSport's website somewhere. They added up, for instance, all extra time added on during Fergie's era in the Premier League. How much extra time was added onto games? We only came in at about 6th. There was 5 other teams that had more additional time added on than us. The problem is we were just so good at scoring in that period because it became an aura for us. But the thing is with us, if referees were influenced by Fergie because they were intimidated by his aura, you cannot compare that to bribing people and paying them off. At the end of the day, if people are intimidated by you and walk on the other side of the road, that doesn't make you a criminal. You ain't done nothing wrong. You can't. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't. You cannot compare what City are charged with.
Exactly how you read me here is exactly how Ferguson would not allow anyone to have our voice. Listen, you never said exactly. We received better decision in my career, young Ferguson. Yeah, Mark Clattenburg, a famous referee, said United under Fergie had an aura that they used to be favored a lot.
Yes, why? But again, I haven't disagreed.
And
the thing is, hang on a minute. Hang on.
There's no club in this country.
Hamza, we agree. Hamza. Sometimes I don't think you understand English when I say it to you. Maybe it's my accent, bruv. And you're a smart guy. I know you get it. We both agree. I've said that we definitely got favored at times. I have said that I think referees were intimidated by him, but you can't compare that to allegedly cheating. There's a difference.
No, that's allegedly.
Hamza, how have you done this again?
I remember Tottenham scoring a halfway goal. Bro, it was in. You don't even need to look at it.
Of course, and denied. But Hamza, but I can give you an example. Hamza, we don't need examples. We know, and I've agreed with you.
Okay, fair enough. Absolutely allegations.
What's your point?
My point is when you try to say, Arsenal and Man United, I'm thinking you're the most privileged kid in this country. You got favored so much that when you never got even given something, you thought, I'm so united that we just knew in this country, there's no point.
But the thing is as well, Hamza, the thing is as well, is I remember things going against us. I remember losing out on a league title to Chelsea when they scored an offside goal against us when Drogba was offside. An FA Cup final, Ryan Giggs put the ball across the line. Multiple camera angles showed it, but there's no goal line technology. When Porto knocked us out the Champions League, the season that Jose Mourinho went on to win it, we scored a legitimate second goal, which would have killed the tie at that point, and their away goal would not have knocked us out, but it was ruled off for offside when it wasn't. And this is my point. So as much as you can look at these things, and Clattenburg may say that he was intimidated and he did what he did.
Howard Webb.
You're going through it now, and people complain about Man United getting that stuff. I'm complaining about red cards like Bruno got the other day because I think it's right to. However, whether we were favoured or not, we didn't cheat. That's all I'm going to say. Put that out there. I want to finish these super chats off here. Someone says, shameless Hamza with that big forehead. Humble yourself. Well, I used to have a big... There's nothing wrong with being bald. Leave bald people alone. I was one. Hansi Flick and his kids will be a big problem. Yeah, they're looking good, Barcelona. They really are. Seems we know who Hamza will start supporting once City get charged. He's ready to go to PSG. Can we praise Arsenal players without mentioning and comparing a single rival player? Can we achieve that as a fan base? Clear the cringy takes. Listen, I don't think anyone's brought up any rival players tonight. I think actually we've done that without even putting up on the screen. No one has done that. Look at this here. Spurs were bad, City were bad, Atlanta bad, PSG bad. Arsenal did nothing to shut them down. Same old. It is what it is. Can never win as an Arsenal fan. Big up the football terrace. That is. Do you guys feel that as Gooners? Do you feel that, Giuseppe, that sometimes no matter what Arsenal do, it's always played down?
Yeah, 100%. And it goes down to the hate. And I think that's what you were trying to say. You weren't really talking about the refs with Man United. You're talking about the way fans and media treat our clubs rather than refereeing decisions. But like, that's the thing. It stems as well from the media, because it's what the media come out and say. Because as soon as it happens, you got Roy Keane playing down us going to 10 men against City, and that he wants to play it down, even though he was a defensive player and he should be bigging it up and saying, well done, Arsenal. So it starts from there, and we can never get the praise. And even when, and it's a trickle effect and it will stay forever. I said, if we win the league this season, the standard thing is going to be, you only won the league because Rodri's been injured. And that's why I'm actually gutted that Rodri's injured, that part of me, because I know that that's going to be the new metric for Rodri was injured. That's why you won the league this year. So that we know where it is.
Giuseppe, you know what? Yeah. Sorry. Now, you know what? You see this Arsenal thing, like, we don't need no validation in the location. We don't need any more validation for you, though. All we need, you've set the bar. You said we need to go and win a major trophy in it. So I don't even answer back all these. I don't need you to say we played well, whatever. We are winning games, and that's all I care about. Badly, ugly, dirty, stinky. I do not care. 3 points is the currency that I'm looking for right now. So let's just keep collecting 3 points, and when we can celebrate, we'll see what they're saying then.
But do you think today you were lucky? Like those
how can we be 2-0, clean sheet, dominate the game, not really concede any big chances, and be lucky, Hamza? Talk to me about.
No, I'm just saying, like, do you think the reason why you won today, Donnarumma made mistakes? I believe PSG should have played Fabian Ruiz.
We played better. That's why
they should have played Colo. And you had basically, I know straight away, Arsenal fans, as soon as you get corners or free kick, you're licking your lips. I'm thinking, this is some Allardyce football in Champions League. And the way Donnarumma, he cost PSG today. It's not about you're excellent. They made mistakes, so you won because he shouldn't have come out to get. It's simple.
Correct. You're right. You're right.
If it's that simple, then win was good.
Hamza, when there's nothing to debate, you're right. You're spot on. Donnarumma is the reason we won 2-0 today. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I believe. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Can I ask you, Hamza? It's set pieces part of football.
With how well we played, how good defensively we were. Trossard masterclass as a 10. It had nothing to do with any of that.
You're good defensively.
It was Donnarumma.
Also, by the way,
stinker is the reason why we did.
By the way, was it Edison's fault that we scored the set piece goal against you guys at the Etihad as well? If you're gonna blame Donnarumma for our set piece goal today, start walking now, yeah.
That was a foul. Just want to put this out as well. I did a little bit of research when you guys were talking. There's more out there. So during Fergie's era in the Premier League, Man United were awarded 123 penalties from 1992 until 2013. In that time, Chelsea were awarded 122. Arsenal 131, so more than Man United. Liverpool 140. So again, we're influencing the referees to a point where they're giving our three biggest rivals in that time more penalties than us. Also, injury time added on. Liverpool, Arsenal, Everton, and Chelsea all had more injury time than us, and all scored more goals than us, winning goals in injury time than us. Man United received the most amount of red cards out of all of our rivals in that time period as well. Only one more than Arsenal in that point as well. The only stat that is crazy is for 10 years, we only conceded 3 penalties at home, but we conceded more than Liverpool, more than Chelsea, and more than Arsenal away from home in Fergie's era. And this is the problem. The opinions can be there. And even Clattenburg might say, I was influenced, but the facts don't lie. If what you're saying is true, then how are those facts? Just answer me very simply. If what you're saying is true and we were favored, how are those facts out there?
Because we saw it. I witnessed.
No. You couldn't have seen it. I'm going to stop you because I need to stop you. You couldn't have seen it because your eyes have not seen the facts, have they? You didn't see it. Your brain's telling you saw it, but it ain't there. Get those glasses checked.
No, Terry, it's a fact. When referees are coming out here and they justify. We were scared of United. We were intimidated of Ferguson.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? Hamza, please stop. Answer the question. If what you're saying is true and is a fact, and because they were more intimidated, we got better decisions, how did Liverpool and Arsenal get more injury time, get more penalties, get less red cards, concede less penalties than Man United? How? When we were the better team in that period too.
Arsenal. How? I'll put my hand up. I hate Arsenal. But they were the least favored.
But you haven't answered. You have not answered my question.
And they lost.
You've not answered my question. If we were penalties, answer the question.
What? Arsenal deserve those penalties. How many of those penalties do you deserve?
Is that what it is? So the other teams have got more penalties. Okay, there we go. They all deserved it more than we did.
I don't know what it is to get kicked in the penalty box. They will never give them a penalty. I don't know when they come to Old Trafford. Reyes got kicked to the ground. There was no single yellow. I was thinking, how if that had happened to Arsenal? If that happened to Arsenal, do you remember Vieira?
Yeah.
You remember Vieira
was an Arsenal fan at that point,
red card.
You know what it is. That's why he remembers it, because he was an Arsenal fan back then. But like I said, I understand. The worst bit is about this debate is I agree with you that it definitely intimidates certain referees. But the facts are, Man United were not given exponentially more decisions than any of our rivals in that period. However, that's what happens when you. I said recently I want to do an experiment, and I think it's been an amazing football experiment. So I want to do it with Don. With players he dislikes, and he has to sit there and watch a game, and we record it, and he points out what all the mistakes are and how those mistakes go about, so we can list them and we name them. Then we put him in front of watching a team that he likes with players he likes, like Cole Palmer, and then every time he doesn't call out those same mistakes, we let off a foghorn and we count how many times it happens. And then with the idea of the experiment is to see whether or not we over focus on players we dislike's mistakes versus ignoring it when we like it. And I think this happens with refereeing decisions. I think it happens with what the media says. We will ignore it when it's like, oh, I love the fact Man United are getting cooked today. No one cares. Listen, the amount of Liverpool fans I've had arguments in my life with who have sent me links to stories ripping into Man United, and it's from the Sun. I'm like, how are you even sharing this newspaper article with me? Because for a split second, in the joy of attacking Man United, they're forgetting who the source is, and it's like, bruv. And then they normally go, oh yeah, you're right, to be fair. But that's what everybody does. Is I think we're all been guilty of that at some point in our lives. We ignore the source, we ignore the validity, and we just kind of jump on that sort of bandwagon. But the facts are the facts. Anyway, there's a super chat about Pep. It says Pep equaled Fergie's unbeaten record of 25 games. Pep's won four plus goals, a record 14 times in the Premier League. Real Madrid and Chelsea prevented City from doing a 4P. Well, no, they didn't get to 4 finals on the bounce, did they?
No.
They got to... No.
I didn't get that last bit.
Yeah, the last bit I don't get.
Trouble. I think he's trying to say we could have won another Champions League.
Well, yeah. I mean, we every team that gets knocked out would have won the Champions League. They didn't lose any games.
But City have broken the record today. I think they've equaled United in terms of
brilliant team.
Because the refs favour Pep Guardiola, mate.
Yeah,
yeah, Spartan kicking.
It's really funny about people that do this Fergie thing, because City are the only team that have had an era like Fergie since Fergie. Is in another 20 years' time. You're going to get these referees talking about how intimidated they were. And then it's what always happens, because it happened to the Liverpool lot in the early 2000s. It will repeat itself. PSG went missing like Hamza's hairline. And why does this brother look like his hoodie is giving birth to him? I don't even know what that means.
Hoodie.
I know what the hoodie means. I meant the giving birth bit. I don't know. I don't remember any of Haaland's goals. That's crazy. That's a crazy take.
I get what he's trying to say, but that's disingenuous, man. Because a lot of his goals are tap-ins, he's trying to say they don't stand out. That's just look. He scores a lot of them. It doesn't matter if you remember them or not. The teams that he scores them against, freaking remember them. How about that?
He's 8 behind Thierry Henry. He's 8 goals behind.
It seems like on the weekend he was trying to let the games catch up with his goals.
That's an amazing achievement. Thierry Henry was one of the greatest strikers of all time. He's 8 behind him.
That's crazy. Foden, one of 4 players to score in 7 straight Champions League campaigns. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy as well, considering he's so young as well. Nate here says, Allardyce football, don't stop. I'm almost there.
Absolutely. The hoofball, man. It's like, bro, the corners, then just free kicks, man. I'm like,
you hate that we can take
set pieces. You're jealous.
You hate that we can take set pieces. How can a guy be mad that we can take set pieces?
That's gonna break it down, isn't it?
You're cheating. You're scoring from set pieces.
He's got PTSD.
Do you know what I find really? You know what's really funny, right? This City team under Pep and this City team in the last 11, 12 years has been amazing and played brilliant football. But if Hamza truly was a Man City fan his whole life, Most of his life, they've played football that was very pragmatic and kind of long ball and not beautiful. So, out of respect for the sort of lower level team that he picked to support when he was a kid, how would he ever condemn a more pragmatic type of football? You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You know, it's one of those things. It's sort of like, you know, the older Chelsea fans who supported Chelsea before Roman.
Yeah,
like they don't kind of. I don't think they're as sort of, I don't want to use the word spoil, but their sort of expectations are a little bit different and their understanding is different because they remember it before that. The fact that you're attacking all these other brands of football, Hamza, when your team used to play League 2 and League 1 football, supposedly when you were a kid, that's what you grew up watching. There's no way you could hate on other brands of football. It's impossible.
Man City had George Weah in 2000.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? They still played around football. They still played around football.
Very skillful player.
Let's again.
Southampton had Matt Letitia.
Nobody was talking. Nobody when we were growing up, especially you growing up. Was it in London you grew up? Yeah.
Ashton and the Line.
Where?
Ashton and the Line.
Then where's your accent if you grew up in Manchester, bruv?
Because I moved out to London after that.
How old were you when you moved to London?
I was like 13.
No way your accent would change, bro. Your accent wouldn't change. Your accent wouldn't change.
13, he's still in his influential years, Terry.
13 is how many years he's supported.
I love you, Hamza. You're the best, man. Just go to watch Man United versus Arsenal in 2005. Listen, I would agree in that game, Man United got away with absolute blue murder. But I can go to a season before and go back and watch Arsenal games and you, man, got away. There was a Robert Pires penalty, and I want to say you were away to Southampton. It might have been Portsmouth. Absolute dive to equalize. Like, you wouldn't have gone invincible without it. So the thing is, we could all... And the reason I know that is because back then I only watched big Arsenal games, but I used to live with my best mate, Phil. And we used to have bets on games. And if, like, Arsenal beat Man United, I'd have to sit there and watch like the Invincible DVD from beginning to end, 2 hours, or I'd make him watch treble DVD. That's like a punishment for each other. So I ended up watching quite a lot of old Arsenal stuff because whenever we lost, I had to watch one. And I remember watching it back and I was like, how did you not go invincible? The cheating was mad. But there we go. You'd rather be good at corners. Would you rather be good at corners? I have 115 charges. Absolutely brilliant super chat that is. Look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in today. Go and check out our title sponsored NordVPN. You should protect yourself online. There's also a quiz to go and do just to test yourself and how good your knowledge is when you're out and about. So you can scan the QR code or you can click on our link in the description below or it's pinned in the live comment section. This video is taking you through to Judge Mo's channel, so go and support him over there with his content. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.